Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Yoshi's Story. Let's go ahead and travel into World 2, where we're going to take on the stage Blarg's Boiler. Apparently I'm having a bad time doing alliteration today, but Blarg's Boiler. So notice that this level does look a lot darker than World 1 did. It's not too bad, just make sure you don't fall into the lava. That's the only major danger of this level. There are definitely a bunch of new enemies that we'll be encountering, such as these, the Blargs. Blargs have been around since, I believe, Super Mario World. I actually prefer the way that they look in, what is it? The Tetris Attack game? I really like the way that they look in that particular level. Anyway, so we're going to actually have to introduce a lot of new techniques for Yoshi so that, Yoshi stays above the lava and doesn't get hurt. So there are some bones that seem to move once Yoshi steps on them, and other ones that don't, and other ones that act as a bridge and just kind of give a little bit of way once Yoshi steps on it. Fortunately, it doesn't fall down far enough for that Yoshi would fall into the lava. But we do have to just be aware of it, because as you guys can see that certain enemies and other things can go right through those particular bones. So that actually will come into play in a little bit. As for how we can deal with these Blargs, there's actually two ways that we can do it. One is just wait for them to go back under the ground or back into the lava, so that they would just, we just pass them. And the other option is we can throw an egg at them as well, so that they will retreat. There's actually a particular, I think that's like a light bluish, yellowish bug type creature back there that I skipped. If you have a blue Yoshi or a light blue Yoshi or the yellow Yoshi, I believe you do get extra health from eating that particular bug. So that was what I was talking about, where that certain elements were going through the bones and some of them weren't. So one thing you can do is if your tongue is not fast enough to grab the melon as it's falling down, just push it over to one of these sturdier bones, and then you can just unleash or open the melon from there. Of course, that was one of the melons in a bubble, so that one, actually does regenerate if you don't happen to quite get it the first time. But of course, in other situations, we might not be able to recover from them. So here are Miss Warps again. I do recommend just hitting the Miss Warps, even if you know you're not going to be coming back to this particular section of the stage. You never know. Maybe there's a particular melon or fruit that you wanted to miss, that you accidentally missed, or maybe you missed the bonus area as well. So you do have to just be a little bit careful with that. In this particular instance, we had to collect 5 coins. If you collect all 5 coins right away, you will be able to get a new melon. You have to get all 5 in order for the melon to appear. We're also introduced to a ball mechanic in this level. Basically, all you have to do is just stand on top of the ball, and it will roll around, even though it's in the very hot lava, and you would think that some of the lava would get onto the ball, but no, it doesn't, so nothing to worry about in that situation. As long as you go very slowly, you don't have to worry about trying to jump to overcorrect yourself or anything like that. So one thing that we noticed is that the first time we saw a single coin by itself in the air, we saw that block that mentioned to us that we should probably try and sniff around, see if we can find anything useful. And in fact, there was a melon there. So what I'm doing in each instance where a single coin just seems to be all by itself. Indeed. We're just throwing the coin, or we're just throwing it, or just doing a ground pound, and indeed a melon is there. So for example, right here as well, a single coin by itself, that's a good hint as to where a melon may be. So you guys also notice that instead of having to go touch the giant heavy heart myself, I just threw an egg at it. That is also a viable option, especially in parts of the level where it's too dangerous for Yoshi to try and go and touch the thing by itself. And again, here we had another single lone coin, kind of acting as our hint. And again, of the same ball mechanic as before. Uh-oh. I think we just lost a melon. Sorry about that. However, I will make sure that we do include as many other melons as possible, and I make them all visible too. So, depending on when you get the little happy heart from eating 6 of the same fruit in a row, again, I'm just doing melons by default. But again, it applies to any 6 fruits that you eat in a row of the same kind of fruit. So sometimes when you eat the little happy heart, sometimes extra coin will appear. We saw in that mini game that the particular letter came out of nowhere. And in fact, we're going up to another mini-level in this very instant. In this particular mini-game, which is a very common one throughout all the different levels, we have a stack of melons that we need to carry all the way across to the finish line. What we can do in advance, just a little bit to make the game a little bit easier, is we can actually just make sure that there are as few obstacles in our path as we go through. So that's why I went forward, decided to get rid of the Shy Guys. I probably could just jump over them normally, but it just makes it a little bit easier so that you don't have to worry about carrying these melons as much. So what you want to do is you want these melons to be stacked a little bit forward ahead of you. That way you can just keep running forward at a pretty modest pace. You don't want them to tilt too far forward, otherwise you won't get anything. Or you'll probably lose all the melons, and if you lose all the melons, then you can't retry the stage again. Here Yoshi is enjoying his melons, and indeed here comes another little happy heart, and we have the letter E that appeared in this situation. That's exciting. So again, what do all of these letters stand for? Well, we'll just have to figure that out in a little bit. But for now, let's go back to the main level. But notice that we did not appear right where we had left in the first place. So in fact, this is often the case, and you might actually have to go check both directions for things that you may have missed. So notice right here that it actually put us all the way at the end with Miss Warp number 4. That particular urn right there would take us back to the very beginning of the stage. But we notice that we know for sure that we're still missing one melon. So we're actually going back to the left here, and there it is. And this blarg is trying to keep watch of it. But fortunately, I just wanted to give you guys the idea that, yeah, in fact, we skipped over a whole lot of things because we took that whole other route where we were running around with the boxes of melons. So if we keep going back to the left, in fact, there was the pipe to the left up there that would take us back up. But we now have all of our melons accounted for. Again, we dropped one by accident. That's too bad, unfortunately, but very successful run overall. Sorry if there's like a weird, slight desync of video and sound. I noticed that a couple frames skipped. I'm afraid I really can't do anything about that. And in terms of score, again, it only applies if you're taking this exact route that I am. But for now, let's read from the storybook. As the page turned, an ocean of boiling hot lava bubbled out. If the Yoshis didn't cross, they would never find the Super Happy Tree. Blarg and the lava were scary. The Yoshis bravely fought their way through. The page turned, and the Yoshis grew happier. So indeed, we collected all 3 of the happy hearts for the stage. So we can choose any of our stages in level 3 now. So go ahead and make your decision. I will see you guys in the next video. This is Big Mac saying, later.